to bring your attention to the fact that although this may seem like it's a very trying time and you're scrambling to do this, this will be beneficial to your business in the long run, as well as this will become the new normal from here on out, at least for the foreseeable future. I also wanted to let you know that at the Small Business Center, our advisors are available for phone consultations. If you're finding yourselves having any challenges that you'd like to talk through, please feel free to book you in. We do also have more events coming up on the calendar that are relevant to this, as well as just getting your small business going, or any challenges that small business owners are currently facing. So please do take a look at the events calendar on our website. Following this session, if you have any questions, Allison will have a Q&A time at the end, so feel free to ask any questions then, or you can reach out to myself or Allison after the fact, and I'm sure we can get those questions answered for you. So now I'm going to pass it over to Allison. She's our Shopify expert, and she'll walk you through how to get your business started on Shopify and how to make your first sale.
Cool. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All good? All right. Like Christina said, my name is Allison, so thanks for coming today. I'll teach you a little bit about what I know about Shopify, which I've been using since 2017. So moving on. I have two businesses. So one is Allura Flora Jewelry, which I have had in business since 2010, and it's been on Shopify since August 2017. And also Whiskey Jack Boutique, which is a brick and mortar store in downtown Windsor that we also have an online presence. And then from February 2018 to December 2019, I was actually working at Shopify as a customer service representative. So I do know quite a bit about the program and how to use it, and I'm here to tell you more about that. So when it comes to these two stores, if you wanted to maybe open them up on your browser as well, because I'll probably refer to them a little bit. When it comes to themes, Allura Flora is built on the free Shopify theme called Brooklyn, and Whiskey Jack is on Minimal. So you can just see two examples there of the free themes that you have option-wise, that like how you can customize them. So what we're going to look at here today is how to customize the look and feel of your online store, how to buy a domain name if you don't know how to already, or if you don't already have one, how to set up the shipping and payment settings, how to add a product and create collections, as well as some other ways to create pages and blog articles to have other content to bring people to your website, and the fundamentals and the not so fun stuff of settings that are very important, but they're not as flashy. So first of all, what is Shopify? So over 1 million small businesses from over 175 countries are using Shopify. And the COO of Shopify likes to refer to it as a retail operating system. So he'll say, it's the first thing you open up in the morning, and it's the last thing you look at before you go to bed. And I can confirm that that is true. It's very much what we do. So Shopify is a world-class commerce platform that has everything you need to start, sell, market, and manage your business. And that includes selling through your own fully customizable website, social media, and online marketplaces like Amazon, but also through retail experiences like farmers markets, pop-ups, shops, and permanent storefronts. So our storefront downtown at 55 Maiden Lane has a physical storefront, but we also are able to take our operating system, the Shopify point of sale, and go to shows like you can see here. We were at the small business show in October. If everyone can make sure they're muted, that would be awesome. So overall, this is just like a show of what we've got here. These are some themes that you can customize, and also what the admin looks like, and how we can take that and roll with it. So what I plan to do today is actually show you from start to finish how to get started on Shopify. So if you haven't already, you can go ahead and start a free trial. Just by going to shopify.com, you can come up here and start a free trial. And it'll have you enter in your business information. All you need is an email address, password, and what you want your store to be. And this will, it'll tell you if it exists already. And this is the one I created yesterday. So I can just make a trial. This will give you your domain name. So sciencecats3.myshopify.com might be the new domain if I created the store right here. Shopify is offering 90-day free trials right now, which is pretty, they usually do 2-week free trials. So it's a good option to get started. And then once you do, that's just something I was working on. We have I don't know what's banging around here, but sorry about that. Back to the main admin here. This is the home of everything you'll do on Shopify. So down the left-hand side, we've got home, orders, products, customers, analytics, marketing, discounts, apps, and then your sales channels. So everything you do on Shopify can be accessed through this one admin panel. There is an app that does the same thing. It's a little bit more condensed, obviously, but you can access this. I do a lot of my business from bed on my app, so it's really easy to get started. So the first thing you take a look here. So this is your domain name that gets generated automatically. So if you wanted to, or you should, I would recommend getting a domain that's a custom domain that doesn't have .myshopify.com in it. So we'll teach you more about how to do that later. But the first thing you'll need to know is how to add a product. So we do this by going to products. And then I already have a couple here because I wanted to show you a few different options. But when you add a product, you'll have an option to enter a title, a description, and then some media. So when you're writing your title and your description, you want to put yourself in your customer's shoes. So in the product description, you should convey the features and benefits of your product. And since a customer can't really try on your product before they buy it, you want to help them understand how your product will address a problem or challenge that they have. So in this case, I am going to show off one of the products I have is the coffee bean necklace. So if I go in and write this here, it's a very simple title, tells you exactly what it is. This is what makes it unique. So it was created with using 3D modeling, describes what it is, and then it also gives specifications for the product itself. So actually, and I'll show you how to do this. It's one of my favorite things. I like to steal images from, well, myself really. So let's see, this coffee bean necklace. So this one is already on Shopify, it has an address, so I can copy that link address, and then I can go into this, add media from URL, and just paste that in there. So now that image is here, or you can add it straight from your computer. But because that image is already on my other website, it's an easy way to find it rather than in my computer. So, so that media is loading there, but that will have the image. It's good to have a few different images from different angles, depending on what the product is. And then another thing you'll need to do is add a price. And you can use the compare at price to indicate a sale. So if I wrote this as, other places might sell it for $60, but I'm selling it for $50, it'll appear as a sale on the website. So I'll leave it like that so I can show you what it looks like. And in here, it has the cost per item. So if this costs me $35 to produce, then I can see how much profit I'll make on that product itself. Charging taxes is this is the first place where you'll have the tax option. So we'll talk a little bit about taxes later, but you'll definitely need to talk to an accountant about how to set that up and what you need. But if you are going to charge taxes, you check that box. And if you end up having a larger inventory, you might want to use something like SKUs. So you could create your own SKUs. If you are selling a product like that already has a barcode, for example, so we sell books in our store, so we can use the existing ISBN and put that in here. so that I don't have to put my own label on that book. I can just scan the barcode that's already on it. So that's useful. Or you can create your own barcode numbers, but that would be just for your own personal inventory. So here you can put the quantity that you have. And then you have an option here you want Shopify to track the quantity, you can have that option. And then you can choose if you want to continue selling it when it's out of stock, which it depends on the type of product you have, but usually if you have a certain amount of inventory, it's better to track quantity and then not continue selling when it's out of stock, because you don't want to oversell the products that you don't have. So if it's a physical product, you need to add a weight. So this is about 40 grams. It's important to have proper weights here if you are using weight-based shipping, which we'll talk about later as well. If you're not using weight-based shipping, if you're just planning to have free shipping on your site, it doesn't necessarily matter if you have the weights, but it is something to consider if you are using calculated shipping, just to make sure that you have the accurate product weights there. And then this, you can select for where it was originally created, let's say. So, or, where is the product from is important for customs. So if I send this over the border, they want to know, let's see if it comes up. Jewelry. So you can have different the HS codes. So if I put this jewelry of silver, that sounds about right. So you can search for the product and find the appropriate HS code, and it makes it easier for when it comes to the border where you're shipping it, for them to understand what kind of tax needs to be applied on it and if there's any additional duty. So in this case, we do have different variants. For me, I put in finish. So when you have multiple variants, you can have up to 3 different options and over 100 or 100 variants. So in this case, our options are silver plated, gold plated, rose gold plated. Right. So now I have 3 different options for the finish, and I can change the quantity for each. So let's say I have 1 of each of these, and you can edit that as well. So let's save that for now. Maybe we can get the picture to show up. On the top right here, you have product availability. So right now we only have the online store as a sales channel, but if I clicked manage, I could, let's say, make it available on Facebook or make it available on Instagram. I guess it doesn't like my media file for some reason. Let's see. No, it doesn't like it. We'll do it the old school way then. Okay. Oops.
Allison, we just had a quick question here. Tim was wondering how easy it is to duplicate product entries for similar products within a similar product line.
Yeah, I do that all the time. So I'll show you that. So let's say, so this is important too. So necklaces, I put in as the product type. So, and then later on, we can show you how to add them to collections. In this case, I want to add a few tags that already exist. So these are good for your own organization, and you can use them to sort your product collections. So all of this is let me just talk about the SEO, and then I'll show you how to duplicate the product. So when you're writing the product description, one of the key elements is to include keywords. So keywords are words and phrases that potential customers will enter into search engines to find a product like yours. So if you go on Google right now and search for coffee bean necklace, you'll see this picture, and it's linked to my existing product on aloraflora.com. So that's an example where, if someone's searching specifically for this item, then they'll be able to find it. So that's because my SEO was it has the appropriate keywords in there for you to find that product. So in this case, you can go in here. By default, it puts in exactly what you put in the product description, but you can go in here and change the keywords in here so that you have words that people will actually search for. So this is important to do. And then you also want to, you can adjust the name of the product, but it's good to keep it simple and it automatically defaults to the name of the product. So if we were to duplicate this, so I do this a lot with necklaces, just because a lot of the existing stuff is the same. So you could do images, but it doesn't usually make sense to. But so let's say I had a different necklace, like a cat necklace. You can put it on the same, make it available on the same spots. You can have it have the same inventory quantities. You can hit duplicate, and then it'll give you an option to, let's say it had the same, size, then I could just use that or the specifications and then move on and add the rest of the information, but it has the same tags and it has the same organization. So that does make it easy to duplicate the product. So trying to see. Okay, so then the next thing, I'm just going to discard that one. Next thing we'll do is look at collections. So now if I go back into my products, I've got, oh, it looks like it saved it anyway. I've got 3, maybe 4 different necklaces here that I can sort into collections. So there's 2 different ways that you can create a collection, and one is a manual collection and the other is an automated collection. So when you're thinking about how you sort your products, so for example, if I was selling men and women's clothing, then I might want a collection for men's and a collection for women's. And the way that I can do that is here, going in and creating it. Collection type. So you can do the same thing as before, where you add the title of the collection. So for this one, I'm going to do coffee lovers. I would probably, make a better collection description, but you put something in here. You can also add an image for the collection. In this case, it's the same as that, the one product already. So I really like using automated collections because they make life easy later. So if you are first starting out and you haven't sorted any collections yet, then definitely go automated. Manual is more for when if I wanted to, I could add products one by one into. So in that case, I might use it to make like, oh, these are our new things that just arrived, and it's kind of like a one-time use collection, like, spring 2020 new arrivals. Whereas automated might be something that I can always have and then continually add products depending on conditions. So in this case, if I make the product tag equal to coffee lover, and then save that, you'll see that the products that have that tag are automatically added to this. And clearly the tag is on this necklace, even though I really just want these 2, right? So then if I go back into Bossy Bar necklace and remove the coffee lover tag, which is there because I duplicated the product and didn't edit the tags, right? So if I go in and edit that tag out, then it will be removed. Another thing, you can do either all conditions or any conditions. So in this case, if I did all conditions, and then, so there's another way that I can sort out the Bossy Bar. Not really. So if I have another option where maybe it has to match both of these conditions, it has to have a tag that says coffee lover and caffeine. No, that one still has both. So you can go in and edit that, but there's other ways that you can sort it by as well. So let's say I wanted to make a collection that was only product types, maybe it's only necklaces, then I can make a collection like that. So there's a lot of different ways to sort, and depending on your tags, you can have a lot of power there with how to set it up. So it shows you here, there's a lot of people that will create collections and then just assume that they'll be available on the website, but you have to actually go in and add them to your navigation for them to show up. So you've got the collection there. So just like the product page SEO, you can go in here and edit this as well so that it has the proper collection keywords so that it shows up in search results. So let's see. Yeah, so that's that for collections. So the next thing that I want to go over are some general settings. So at the bottom left, if you click on settings, you'll see these are all of the settings for your store. We've got payments as the main thing we want to look into. So in order for that first customer to buy from you, you need to get that payment processing set up. So I've already added a bank account here, but if you are coming to the Shopify payments for the first time, then you'll have the option to enter your banking information. And then after that, you'll see how you manage Shopify payments. So Shopify payments is Shopify's own payment system that works in many places around the world. It eliminates the hassle of setting up third-party payment providers and accelerates the checkout for returning customers. So in this case, you can choose if you want to. So there's different rates for American Express. They're actually a little bit more expensive than, you can see what the rates are. A little bit more expensive than MasterCard and Visa. So, you know, if you decided, oh, I don't want to take Amex, then you can take that off. But usually people have all of the available options so that they're not excluding anyone from being able to pay.
I just have a quick question about the paying. Just for like your personal experience, did you end up using a personal bank account or did you go through all the steps to create a business bank account right from day one?
Early on, I didn't have, I just used a personal bank account.
Okay, so they do allow that.
Yeah, you can do it with any bank account.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I just ended up, I have two separate accounts now for Allura Flora and for Whiskey Jack, just because it's obviously easier to keep everything separate. But you can use a personal account, and when you do sign up, it used to ask you for your social insurance number. I didn't notice it this time, but any income that you are gathering, Shopify does report that to Canada Revenue. So
yes, good to know.
Yeah. So so keep that in mind.
So if you started with one type of account, though, you could always change it to another one down the line. Like if you started small but grew, you could make it a business account later.
Yeah. So right here, you would just go in and change bank account, and then it has.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Yeah. So Shop Pay is Shopify's accelerated checkout. So if it's kind of cool, actually, there's over 1 million stores, like we said, for Shopify. If anyone has used the checkout on Shopify and chosen to save their information, then it gets saved in Shop Pay. So if they go and they start filling out their email that's associated with that, then it'll automatically fill in all of their information, the last credit card that they used. And it's just a really fast way to check out. So more and more people are using that now. And then Apple Pay and Google Pay are also options as well. And if people use this, it's still charging a credit card and everything goes into your Shopify payments payouts. So it just makes it a lot easier. You also have the option to sell in multiple currencies. When you do that, so if I wanted to, what? Okay. Am I not spelling things right? Hello. Where is America? Okay, so let's say I wanted to do Algerian dinar. You can go ahead and add as many currencies as you want. It'll use their currency conversion rates. If you look here, you can see what the rates are, and it'll charge them in their currency, and then it'll convert it for you. So I would probably do United States or US dollars, let's say, as an option. Probably not too many different currencies, maybe maybe euros or UK, but it just depends on where you plan to market your product if you want to add multiple currencies there. And then there's other options for price rounding, payout descriptor. I just put Shopify payout here. This is what shows up in your bank statements. And then you can choose when you want to get paid, every business day, every week. Usually people do every business day. And then you can choose if you want to get notified. These are important here for fraud prevention. So I would always, choose as many as you can, decline charges that fail the AVS postal code verification as well as CVV. So it can help. And in every order, it shows you if there was a time if they tried to make a payment and it didn't go through, then it shows you why. And so it's important to keep track of that. Here, this is what shows up on the customer's payout statement. So you want to make this kind of as clear as you can what the story is, and then you have your phone number there. And then you can test the payout payments. We can do that later as well. I'll show you how to do that later. So that's basically how you set up payments. So the next thing we can look at is buying a domain. So if you click on online store, it actually pops up this menu here. So there's themes, blog posts, pages, navigation, domains, and preferences. So for a domain, we have the option here to either buy a new domain or connect an existing one. If you do buy one through Shopify, it will make it a lot easier for you to purchase it and then, oh, look, it is available. So if I wanted to, I could go ahead and buy that. It'll give you an option to enter your credit card and it'll set it up for you. So instead of the domain being science-cats2.myshopify.com, the domain could be sciencekitties.com. So the domain, it's a good way to establish your brand and earn trust and develop a relationship with your customer. So my aloraflora.com wasn't available at the beginning. I actually had to get aloraflorajewelry.com. I didn't like it because it was long, but I waited it out until Laura Flora was available and bought it up. So it's a good idea to think about which social media handles are available for your brand as well, so that you kind of keep it as short as possible so that you're easier to find online. If you want to, you can also connect your existing domain. So let's say you bought one on GoDaddy. I do have a domain, I already bought, that's on Google Domains. So now it's saying GoDaddy. But so you can follow the steps, either connect it manually or connect it automatically. There's steps available on the Shopify Help Center for how to do that as well. But yeah, and the price of the domain depends on the extension that you buy. So, something like bomb.com is probably available. Oh no. Sometimes they come up as like really expensive because they're, that's an interesting or maybe a sought after domain. So if you need something that's aftermarket, they call it, then you might have to pay a lot of money for something like that, but something to keep in mind. Also, when you first buy a domain, it can take up to 48 hours for all of the settings to be set. Let me show you. So in these domain settings here, we actually have whiskeyjackboutique.ca as well connected, and it all redirects to whiskeyjackboutique.com. So you can see you can have multiple domains pointing to the same place. So .ca is pointing to Whiskey Jack Boutique. So if anyone by chance entered that in, they would be redirected to our site. So that's another thing to keep in mind too. So we covered how to add a product, how to make a collection. The next thing I want to do is talk about how to make pages. So when you are creating your own, so if you take a look at, let's say, Alora Flora, I've got an about us page. So maybe someone, people are interested in who's behind the brand more often than not these days, just because there's so many small businesses. And the reason that people support small businesses is because they want to support an actual human rather than, going to a conglomerate like Walmart, or, they love the personal side of it. So it's good if you have these stories to enter that information in. And then you can also have a contact us page. So for me, I do custom jewelry. So I've got an option here for making custom orders. So if someone enters in their name, their email, and their message, it sends me an email, and I can tell them if I can accommodate them. So when you're creating pages, right now I've got the option to add a page. So we'll do the same thing where we make an about us page. So I've just got some content that I can copy here. So it's kind of like a regular text builder. So I have the option to go in, and maybe I want to make this a larger heading. And then this is the paragraph text. So you can edit it the way you would on like a Word doc. You can change the formatting or alignment, and you can enter in an image here. So if I want to insert maybe this cat image, you can choose how big it is. And then we'll see how this looks on the page itself. So if I save the page, it looks like it didn't save this as heading 2. Save. All right, so there we go. So we create a page, add the content. You can format it however you like. And then if you view the page on the website, right now we haven't customized the look and feel of this theme yet, but the content is here. So that's just an example of what you could add there. So the same way you edited you can also choose if you want to have this page hidden for now. So maybe I'm working on this, it's not completely ready. I can keep it hidden, and I can set a specific publish date. It'll have you pull up a calendar, but usually we just have it ready to go right away. And just like the other pages on your site, you can go in and edit the content here so that you have a better chance of pulling up visitors through SEO. Another thing you can work on are blog posts. So the same idea, you can create a blog post just like you created a page. If you go on Google right now and search for just the word Whiskey Jack, you should be able to pull up our site just by searching for it. This is the nickname of the bird, which should be Canada Jay, by the way, not Gray Jay. So you can see here that we come up as, the 4th listing just for the word Whiskey Jack, which is right here. And then also this is my blog article that explains what a Whiskey Jack is. So if someone was just searching for this bird, they have just found our website and perhaps can, maybe they just love Whiskey Jacks and now they want to look at some Canadian books. So that's the benefit of blog posts, is that you're drawing people kind of organically to your website, and then if they want to, they can make a purchase. So that's a little bit of content marketing that you can think of to build your brand. So whenever we have this content, so now I've got a page that I can add to my navigation on my website. So under navigation, it shows you the main menu and the footer menu. This is how it's set up automatically with Shopify. It gives you a home menu and a catalog. So any products that you have automatically go under catalog. The footer menu is a good place to put your privacy policies and extra information that you don't necessarily, maybe someone, if they're on your website, they're probably looking for a product. So you want to maximize the chance of things in the main menu being what they're looking for. So in the main menu, you want to have about 3 or 4 main headers on the menu rather than too many. So I want to work on this and pare this down just because there's a lot going on here. But I feel like sometimes people like to be able to jump between. So as you can see, it's a little bit organized, at least with the types of jewelry we have, what house and home products we have. But ultimately, I feel like this is a more streamlined menu. So I only have contact us, about, blog, and catalog. So it's good to keep it simple. Just some advice. So in this case, maybe I want to add my About Us page. So I add the menu item, About Us here. If you click here, you can kind of go through all the content that you might be able to add. I know that it's a page, so I can click page and then About Us. Or I can just start typing About Us and it'll show you the product or page that matches that, and then you can link it in. So this is how it adds the link. So maybe I want catalog. Oh, so let me explain. So see these little 6 little dots here? If you scroll over them with your cursor, it turns into a hand, and then you can drag and drop the content wherever you want it. And you can also make nested menus. So if I want About Us under home, I can pull it, drag it to the right, and drop it under there, and it'll save there. So that's, and then another thing you can do, so remember we created the collection for coffee lovers. So collections, coffee lovers. So it automatically adds the content there too, if you have adds the name of the collection. So if I add this collection to my menu, right now it's in the main section, but instead I want to add it under catalog. So I drag it up and to the right, and now it will be under catalog when I refresh and save. So anytime you want to look at your website, you can click on this little eyeball next to online store. It'll show you what it looks like right now. So we haven't customized this theme at all, but I do have this option here for underneath catalog, the coffee lovers drop down, so I can click on that collection and view the products in that collection. So remember what I told you about the compare at price. So here, compare at price is 60, but it's making this look like it's on sale with the $50 price. Sometimes it's good to pretend things are on sale. People like that. So what else? Alrighty. So as you can tell, it's a pretty bland site at the moment. So we can work on how to make that prettier. And that's under themes. So Shopify has, I think, 10 free themes that you can use as an option. Oh, I'm in Whiskey Jack, so let's just look at this anyway. So here, if you scroll down on yours, you might have maybe 1 or 2 extra themes that are installed. This is your live theme. So if I were to customize this right now, it would change for the website that's live. I just downloaded this theme trial of Motion the other day that I haven't worked on yet, but I have an option here to, these are the free themes that Shopify has. Looks like it's 8 free themes that are options. So you can choose one of these. You can have multiple installed. You can have up to 20 installed at one time, and you can work on them all separately. If I decided to fully customize Motion and it was ready to go, I could click Actions, and then, well, first I would need to buy it, but I could publish this theme right now, and then that would be the next time someone refreshes their website while they're on my page, they'll see the new version of the site. There's also the Shopify theme store. So depending on your product, you can go to the theme store. You can sort by industry. So maybe, obviously, I do have a jewelry brand, and it shows you previews of what themes look like and how you can customize them. And you can decide, you can sort the types of themes you want to see. Like maybe I just want free ones, or I want ones for large catalogs. So it shows you the themes that are good for the type of the type that you're looking for. So you can look through all of these. It's good to take a look at the reviews of the theme as well. This is one that this is a free Shopify theme. So probably won't have reviews on it, but something like District, it tells you who the theme is supported by and how to get support for it, because Shopify doesn't offer support for the paid themes because they're all developed by third-party developers. So you have to contact them directly if you have any issues. And then it has the reviews here. So it looks like they've got a lot of positive reviews, so it might be worth looking at. So when you hit try theme, it installs it just like you saw here. So I can fully go in and customize this while it's all in a trial. And then once I decide it is something that I want to use, then I can go and pay for it, and then I can publish it. So let's take a look at what this looks like so far. So because it already has our, all of my menu item is automatically taken over from the existing website. And then this is kind of the format that they have for their site. So you can go in and edit the content to match what your brand is. You can also go into the theme settings and change the colors. So maybe I want the background to be black. I can do that. And then it goes and changes it automatically. So it's kind of like what you see is what you get editor. You can also go in and change the font. So you can fully customize any theme really to match whatever your brand is and whatever you want it to look like. That's completely up to you. So Americana. So we changed the font. So you can see that there. That's nice. So what we would recommend when you are customizing a theme is to start at the top and then work your way down. I'm going to go into the themes on this one that's not customized yet. So in the debut theme is what every store is started with. It's a free Shopify theme as well. So if I go in, so I can go in and change the image, this image with text overlay here. So right now, another thing to look at, depending on what your brand is, you can look into the free images that Shopify has. It's called Burst. You can go to burst.shopify.com and see photos as well, but they have them linked in here just so you can go in and add these. They're built, these images are made for looking nice on websites. So they're all kind of the perfect aspect ratio to look nice on the website. So it's nice to, depending on what you're selling, maybe you could find something that suits your brand or your products in there. So, and you can use all.
Oh, sorry. Does it tell you somewhere what the ideal aspect ratio is? Like if I wanted to create my own image, does it show where you would find what specs to use?
Yeah, so depending on what theme you're using, so you can, let's say simple. So usually in the documentation, it would say that. Did you see where I grabbed that?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say, I know it says it somewhere, header. There usually is.
Okay.
I think the main thing for images like that go into these themes, and in each theme it usually says what that one's called the hero image, the main image. For me, the aspect ratio is the most important thing. So if you look at this image, it's about 1 to at least 2.5, right?
Yeah.
So as long as I usually would tell people this image could be 2,000 pixels wide.
Okay.
And then you would adjust the height depending on how you crop it. But
okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, and then while we're talking about images, it's good to make sure that your product images are not like super high resolution, because when you have multiple images being loaded at once, it'll obviously slow down the website. So it's good to use lower resolution, not lower resolution, but look at the size of the image. Like, you can't upload one on Shopify more than 20 megabytes, but you don't want multiple images being what slows down your site. So keep that in mind when you're uploading the product images as well. So just like I showed you, you can go in here, you can change the text. So you can change it to whatever you want. You can take that content out. You don't necessarily have to use it. Whenever you're editing in here, you want to make sure you hit save in the top right when you're working on it, or else it won't save what you're working on. Just like the drag and drop before. So let's say I want to take this gallery at the bottom. I can drag it up to the middle of the page. So you can drag and drop all of your content in the theme editor. So in this case, if I go in and select my collection, that's the only one I have, obviously, right now. But the featured collection shows up here. And then maybe I want to bring this right up to underneath. So I have Hey Shop with Us, featured collection. And then if I want to hide a section, you can, sorry, I'll show you. So see, the image with text is here. And then I'm like, oh, I just want to hide this temporarily. Then it'll just bounce out of the content. So depending on what you want to feature on your main image or your main website, you can customize that accordingly. So you can see that the navigation is still up here. If I go in and into my navigation now and add another content or add another menu item, then it'll show up there as well. So, you know, let's say I'm done editing. If I want to go back to the admin, I just click on the icon here. Okay. So let's say I worked on debut and then I was like, no, I think I would rather this one I was working on be my current theme. So I go into actions, click publish, and then it'll replace my current theme. I already did edit that a little bit. So now if I go and refresh this page, now it's showing up in the Brooklyn theme rather than the debut theme. So, and if you upload a logo into your header, it'll replace the title of your website. If you don't have a logo, then it'll have your website title there.
So you just had a couple questions here from Monica. So once you create a new page, how do you customize it to match your home and catalog pages?
So anytime you create a new page, it'll look like your current theme. So right now this one was debut, right? So this is what the About Us page looks like on debut, but I just went and I changed the theme. So if I close the preview and look at that page again, it's in the Brooklyn theme. So see how the header is the title font is different. Like everything is changed to what I had it set on in Brooklyn. So the content always stays the same, but then it will adapt to the formatting of the theme that you have chosen. Does that make sense, or does that answer the question?
I think that makes sense. And then Heather was wondering if it's possible to get rid of the Powered by Shopify in the footer.
Oh yeah, definitely available. It depends on the theme how, let's see, where it is. So in the Brooklyn theme, I think it is in the footer.liquid. I would recommend not fooling around with code. But in this case, I know where it is, right? So this is the code that says powered by Shopify. If I go in, I can just delete that whole thing. But Shopify can help you do that. So if you don't know or you're kind of scared to do that, then just let them do it or ask me. But it's in this theme, it's in footer.liquid, but in other themes, it might be somewhere else. But if you're not familiar with code, then I wouldn't go in there and play around. But so if I go ahead and save that now, and see powered by Shopify is there, and then I refresh, and now it's gone. So it's just that one line of code that's controlling that being there. So it should be pretty easy to remove. There's also another one of the themes, it is in the language editor. So if you go into actions, well, it's not in that one, but actions and the edit languages, the powered by might be in there as well. So, but yeah, if you need help, you can always search for any content that's on the website. See, this one has it in the checkout. So powered by Shopify is in there, or this shop will be powered by. So if I delete that, then it won't be in there, and save it. Cool. Alrighty, so let's talk about preferences a little bit. We're getting low on time. So if I go into the settings, actually we want to do the online store. Look at the online store preferences first. So when you're in, actually I'll show you this in Whiskey Jack. So because I already have the content in here. So in this case, so this is my homepage title. We thought we were cool with the no caps before, but so homepage title, and then this is our meta description. So right now, this is what, if you search for Whiskey Jack on Shopify, that's what you'll see. Canadian made gifts, maple syrup. So like these are keywords that we're hoping people are searching for, something like maple syrup. So this is a good spot to load up some keywords as well so that it shows up in search results. So social sharing image is, this is what will show up on social if I shared my store link. We have Google Analytics. So if you wanted to learn how to set up, you can click here and it'll give you the full description for how to set that up. So our Google Analytics account is listed here. So anytime someone visits the site, that information is in Google Analytics for me to go in and review. And then you can also connect it to Facebook. So on this site, I've already got these other sales channels. So I've got Facebook Shop, the point of sale, which is where we sell in person, Instagram, Messenger, and Pinterest. So all of these are used to draw people to the website to make purchases. Facebook Pixel is like a whole other realm of information that you can learn about. There's actually Facebook Business has some links for, I can send you guys the links for how to set up Facebook marketing. But you know, we post a photo on Facebook, and you can link the product to the post so that if someone can actually check out on Facebook, it pretty much doesn't leave Facebook. If they wanted just the one item, they could buy it straight through Facebook, and then it would go to our website. So depending on the product you're selling and where you choose to market it, Facebook would be a good idea to have there. So if you are just getting started, it has the password usually enabled automatically. And then you keep your password protected, your site password protected while you're getting the site ready. And then when you're ready to enable it, you can uncheck that box. And so that's, and while you're on the trial with Shopify, it won't let you remove the password from your page until you pick a plan. But even if you were to pick a plan right now, the trial is 90 days, so you don't have to pay for 3 months. So, so that's just the general website preferences. In the regular settings in general, you can see the main contact information. So my store name, store contact email. So this, and then customer email. So this is what the customer sees when we send them an email. This can be a different email related to your personal if you want. So this is where Shopify will contact you. This is an option here to put your store industry in. And then your information for your address is in here. And then standards and formats, the time zone, prefix for your orders, and then your store currency.
So there's just a question. If they have the social media buttons, how do they get the URLs to connect to those buttons?
I'm not sure what that means.
So I think what he's asking is if they have say they have their Facebook icon and their Instagram icon, how do you set it up so that when you click that particular icon, it goes to their page?
Okay. So you mean, sorry, I'm trying to get in here. So I think we have this on our website here. Let me just check. It's in the theme settings usually, so social media. So see, I went into customize minimal, and then in the theme settings, social media is here, and that's down here. So here we have Facebook and Instagram, and this is where we entered that information. So Facebook's here, and Instagram's here. So if you any of the links you have, it shows you where you would add them. And it depends on the theme if that's where they're located, but usually in the Shopify themes, it'll be in the same spot. All right, so more fun stuff. Settings, settings and shipping. So I've got products, they have weights, and these are the settings that I can set up. So right now I've got general shipping rates. I go into manage rates. So maybe when I first start, I just want to ship to Canada. So what it has here are some optional rates for you. So it created them automatically. So I can go in and set up either, maybe I do it by weight or I have it just by amount. So free shipping is a good option to set up for e-commerce because people really don't like paying for shipping anymore. So what a lot of people will do is roll the cost of shipping into their product price so that the customer sees, okay, I bought this thing for $50. I didn't pay shipping, but really maybe you've marked your product up enough that you are taking care of that extra amount. So if I wanted to add a rate here, you could get carrier you could calculate the rates and you could decide to offer. So right now it's showing, because we're in Canada, Canada Post is the option. You can also go in and add, so I know that, let's say my envelopes or my boxes cost $2. So I want to include that amount in the calculated rate. So I can add a flat rate or I can add a percentage to each. So the customer doesn't see it. All they see is the final number, but really it's adding, let's say $2 so that it pads your cost of shipping the product. So right now it has these options available. So if someone bought my necklace that was under 0.75 kilograms, they would see $13.90 as an option, and they would see a calculated rate as an option for an expedited or priority or express post. You can test what that looks like. You can also add another free ship. Maybe it's free shipping over $25, so you can change that as well. Whatever works for your store.
So when you do shipping through Spotify like you just did, how do you get the shipping label when it comes time to actually send it to the customer?
I can show
Is that
you.
through Shopify, or are you going right to Canada Post site?
You can do either. So you can buy a label through Shopify. And so for me at home, I have the label printer. So you could buy the label and then you put it on the box and you bring it to the post office, or they'll come pick it up. So so what the settings do here is they calculate, they actually use the rates straight from Canada Post to calculate how much it is. So I'll show you here. Oh, I guess, yeah, I need to do a test one for that to show up. So let's just do it here. I'll show you what it looks like on our checkout. So there's already stuff in my cart. Cool. Checkout. Sold out. All right, so also we have the option now to do ship or pickup. So if someone wanted to pick up at our store, they could do that. So all my information's there. Oops, I didn't click. I was a robot. Not a robot, I swear. Sorry guys, this isn't working out very well. Okay. I will show you how to do test mode, and then we'll do a test order on here. I feel like we're running low on time. Oh, we're already over. So yeah. First we go in and change it to test mode. Oh. I'm in the wrong plot. Definitely don't want test mode in my live store. That wouldn't be good. Enable test mode. So there's a few ways to, in the Shopify help documents, it shows you some options for test credit card numbers. So right now we're in test mode, so I can go in and complete the checkout. It's lying now. It's ready to go. All right, it's not working. Okay. All right. Let me show you just a few more things and then we'll go back to that after. So the other options we have here in settings are to set up legal pages. So there's an option to create from templates. So it has options here, like, so you click create from template and then it makes our policy last 30 days. So you can go in and edit this. So if I go, this is just a suggestion. So you're obviously going to make it appropriate for your website. But now as soon as I have this policy, I can actually link it to my footer menu as it's already its own page that's been created. So if you look at Whiskey Jack at the very bottom, it says the fine print, and it shows you the links to our privacy policies. It's a good idea to set up, especially a terms of service, but also shipping policy. People really like to understand before they buy. I think UPS said like something like 70 to 80% of people will check the shipping policy before they make a purchase because they want to know, when are things shipped out, or how long do I expect to wait for it. So it's important to have that information available for people to find. And then there's also some settings for your checkout. So a few things you want to make sure are available here are, for us, we have accounts are optional. Making accounts required, people don't like to sign up for things unless they really need to, so I would recommend that be optional. To check out, I have it set as customers can check out only using email because I want to collect their emails for email marketing purposes. And that's the main reason to do that. You can't really do as much marketing on SMS or phone. So that's a thing to add there. So customers can choose to add their phone number to receive shipping updates. And then there's also a shop app that you can have here.
So awesome. We had a quick question too around abandoned shopping carts, like being able to set up emails for those that have abandoned their shopping carts. Is that a function that we could do through Shopify?
Yep. Yeah. So I'll show you that in a second.
Perfect.
So the other options are here to customize what shows up on the form when they check out. So I would say require last name only is a good option. You don't need the company name. You can make it optional, but try not to make too many things here required, like especially this address line 2, because not everyone has address line 2. So having it as optional will make the checkout a little smoother. And then same thing here, shipping address, phone number. This can speed up the checkout as well. So using the shipping address as the billing address by default, and then enabling address autocomplete is a good idea too. And then you can choose whether to fulfill line items. So what we have set here for our store is automatically fulfill only the gift cards on the order, because gift cards are sent digitally, so they can be automatically fulfilled. So, and then email marketing, this is a good option. Depending on rules, I believe we are able to pre-select this option for if they want to sign up for email marketing, and then they can go in and uncheck that box when they go out. So that's it for that. And then, yeah, notifications and abandoned cart checkout is something you can find here. So under notifications, you can edit all of these templates and put the content in that you want to have. So when someone has an order, as soon as they make an order, they get this email to them as an order confirmation. So it has a little bit of liquid code in here, but anywhere there's text, you can edit what it says. So maybe I want to make it shorter. Anything that you change in here, you can preview what it looks like. So this is if someone ordered something, this is what they would see. They have an order summary, and then it shows what address they put as the shipping address and billing address and the payment method that they used. So it's pretty basic. You can also edit the formatting of this, of what they look like. So if I wanted to customize the color, I could choose a different color for the button. And I could also add a logo to the top of that. So that's something to look at as well. So the abandoned checkout email is here. So if you click preview, you can see this is what it normally looks like. It's like, hi, you left items in your cart. There is a setting for how often they get sent out. So you can decide that's in checkout process. I thought it was in there. No, general. No, I forget where that is. There's a setting where you can choose how often or when the abandoned checkout email gets sent out. So take a look in the help center. It says where you can find, because you can change it so it's either 4 hours after they left the cart or the next day.
Come on.
You okay there? All right, so.
Sorry. Oh, am I on here?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. I'm just having some issues with my.
All right. So last thing we'll kind of look at here is taxes. So here, if I were to set this up, depending on how much you're making in Canada, you don't really need to collect HST because you're considered a small supplier unless you're making over $30,000 in revenue in a year. There are some stipulations that you can talk to a tax professional about, but once you are set up, then you would go into here and click setup, and then you would add a tax account. So it shows you, depending on where you are, what it needs from you. So once you register for HST, for an HST number with the government, it'll give you this registration number. You put that in there, and then once you have that, you'll be able to add HST, and it'll charge taxes according to where the person is billing from. So like we had an order from Vancouver and it was only 5% rather than the full 13, right? So it knows, Shopify knows what the tax rates should be depending on the provinces. Right now it's saying 0 because we're not collecting taxes until we add a tax account. So I would talk to an accountant and determine what kind of, what you should be doing with respect to taxes. And then for billing, you can go into the billing section. This is where you would add a payment method for your bill. So you can use a credit card or PayPal right now in Canada, so you can enter that information. And then anytime you have upcoming charges, they will show here. And then you can also see an overview of how much you've been billed the whole time. Subscriptions are $29 US per month and up, depending on what plan you choose for Shopify. And you know what I'll do is I'll show you an order. If anyone has to bounce, feel free.
One more quick question. Leo was wondering if you recommend using the Shopify payment options, or if they already have their own one that they integrate in, if that's better on their end.
So the reason why it might be better to use Shopify payments is because Shopify will charge you 2% on top of every transaction, depending on the plan you're on with Shopify. If you're using an external gateway, they'll charge you 2% or a little bit less if you're on a higher tier plan. So it just depends on what your rate is with the original payment provider. If it ends up being cheaper than that rate plus 2%, then it just depends on that. Like you could always have Shopify payments for this website and then keep your external gateway payment for whatever you already have in place. So
does that does that 2% come out of like my account, or is that automatically being added on the customer's end?
No, it's on you. So
okay.
It would be like, it doesn't add anything to the customer. It just takes it out of. So if
which makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. So instead of a test order, I'm just going to do an actual order. So if I bought this card, I'm going to buy a thing for myself. It doesn't like me right now. Nothing likes me right now. Okay, so, wow. I give up, you guys. Let's do this. It'll work. Okay. Actually, if anyone needs to see the checkout flow or the how to check out, I mean, I can show you how to do that. I don't know why this is really finicky right now. Might be there's too many things going on my page here. So does anyone need to see how to do a test order? Or do we already know how to do that?
I think I'm okay.
Yeah. Okay. Who's left anyway?
Still at 16 on here. There was another question that came through. If a client signs up for email marketing, is there somewhere where you can access your entire list of email addresses and maybe integrate it into MailChimp or another platform to send out automated emails?
Yeah, so let's see. So with so when someone signs up, they on your password page, it has a spot to collect emails, or if they have your on your website, you have that spot to collect emails, they come into your customer list. So here, obviously, we don't have any yet, but this is where they would go. And if you wanted to connect it to something like MailChimp used to have its own app with Shopify, but it doesn't anymore. What you would do instead would be to download an app called ShopSync, which connects MailChimp to Shopify. And also right now, Shopify has its own email as an option. So I think it will be a paid program eventually, but it's already built in. So if I wanted to go ahead and create an email here, right in the Shopify admin, I could do that, and it would be able to be sent to my customers. So yeah, so this is the Shopify email option. And then if you did connect to, you would have your own MailChimp account, and then you could connect through ShopSync. I, on Alora Flora, I've got MailChimp connected with the app there. So if I look at these apps, these are the apps that I have installed. So MailChimp is still here. You can't really, it's still in use for me, but it's actually not available anymore for a new install, but you could use something also like Privy, which you can create an email pop-up. So if you saw the pop-ups on either of my websites, if you went to them, that's a Privy pop-up. So that's how it manages the content there. So here,
that's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and then it has all this information for like how many people have signed up and how many people have used the discount code. And Privy is really good. I like Privy a lot, actually. So that's good to know.
Do you pay a large monthly fee for Privy, or what's that cost like, just ballpark?
Privy is free. There is a free option. Depending on if you're using emails, there's a paid option as well. This one I got installed while I was still with Shopify, so I'm not paying for it. So
free is good.
Yeah, free's great. So that's good. There are other apps that Shopify makes, like product reviews is one that Shopify makes. So there's a lot of free apps that you can install that are useful depending on your business. So I think the other thing I could tell you guys is how to add sales channels as well. This isn't showing me my other guys. So as you can see on my current websites, I've got the Facebook Messenger point of sale. So if I click add here for the sales channel, I want to add Facebook. All you have to do is click add there. And then it'll have the setup for you to connect it to your existing Facebook page. Once you have Facebook connected, then you can show your products on your Facebook page, which is useful. so that you can, the whole point is to find people where they are already, so you can market to them and have them see your products there. So I feel like kind of covered everything. If anyone has any other questions, we can go through those. But yeah, you can use any apps in the App Store to make your site or your backend processes a little bit easier. Experts.shopify.com is a good place to go if you're looking for certain services. Like if you needed help just fully setting up the website, you could find a Shopify expert to do that. There's also a good group called Shopify Entrepreneurs on Facebook. It's run by the guy who created Store Tasker. That's another good resource as well. Store Tasker is built for like the smaller tasks, like, okay, maybe I want someone to enter all my products. So they have rates for those types of small jobs, so you can get someone to do those for you. And yeah, so that's about it for that.
Couple more questions coming through on Slack. Heather, this one's for us. Does a home-based e-commerce store require any permits or licensing from the City of Windsor? Heather, most home-based e-commerce stores do not require any further licensing from the City of Windsor. You can reach out to us specifically. We can talk through a little bit further what you're selling and see if there's anything else that is required on your end. So feel free to connect with me after this webinar, but for the most part, most basic products that you're selling through e-commerce does not require a special license from the city. Limbesh, I'm not sure what you meant by your question. Can we have a detailed plan for the next 12 to 6 months? Can you elaborate on that, please? While he's going through there, we can go to Laura. How does Shopify get paid? Do they take a transaction fee off every sale as it happens, or do they charge a separate monthly fee?
I'll show you. So they take it off of, I'll just show you on my personal business. They take it right off of I'll show you, I'll just straight up show you. It's in the payments. So first, there's a monthly fee, which you pay. So that's $29 a month US. You pay that, and then on top of every transaction, so these are my credit card rates. It shows you, so it's 2.4% per transaction. So if I go to view payouts, it shows me how much. So in this case, I had a couple sales, or this one. So there's one order. This is the order number, and the amount that they paid was $84.97. The fee that Shopify takes is $234, and then the net payment that I'm getting is the balance. So this is how much got taken off of this order, and it's automatically done so that I just get the remainder once they take their fee.
So Shopify is just going to take it, so that way the money that you get, is your money. You've already paid them.
Right.
For
So
that 2%. Okay, perfect. I wasn't sure if you had to like set some aside and pay that monthly, but you're saying that 2% comes off each order before they even give you your profit, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And then the billing for the actual product is separate. Or the billing for the Shopify service is separate.
Yes,
and
that makes sense. I assume it just comes off of your credit card.
Yes.
Perfect.
Trying to see if I've got. Yeah. Anything else about that?
So there are a few more questions coming through, or we're just going to take these last ones that came through here in the interest of time. So you know what, this one we might have to defer this question, but I don't know, Allison, if you have any advice on setting up an account for your Shopify sales in Sage Simply Accounting or other accounting softwares.
There are. So in the shop, I would take a look at the App Store and see which apps are available for, I'm not sure if there is a Sage app, Sage Accounting. It looks like there is. So you can see, so this is an app specifically for connecting with Sage. So what it will do is take your Shopify sales and import them into your Sage accounting so that you can keep everything up to date. So depending on the type of program you use, maybe this is a useful service, but just depends on if you want to pay $19 a month on top. I at one point used QuickBooks, so there's an app for QuickBooks that integrates with Shopify, and that was an app as well that you can download from the App Store. So I would look here first and kind of see which ones connect with Shopify easiest, and go from there. But if you don't have that, you can still go in and, I can look at my analytics. I can download the full report of my orders, and I can import that manually into Shopify or into an accounting software if I needed to.
Perfect. Limbesh, to your question about what's the most important for search engine optimization, that's a huge ball game when you're getting into search engine optimization. That's a webinar in itself. So if you'd like, you can reach out to us directly at the Small Business Center. We're happy to point you towards some resources and give you some information on search engine optimization. And there's also some webinars, as I had mentioned earlier, that Digital Main Street is putting on too, and a lot of them are around search engine optimization. So please feel free to reach out to us, and I can point you in that direction. Natasha put the contact information in the chat there, so you can reach out to us directly.
There's also Shopify Academy has a ton of courses. So there's one on SEO in here. There's one on Facebook ads. There's tons of ways to grow your business essentially. And this is one.
Sorry, that's right through Shopify Academy. Like that's right through Shopify, but they offer courses.
Yep. So it's
fabulous.
academy.shopify.com. And there's one here, SEO training for beginners as well. So there's lots of different ones.
Awesome. And then this will be the last question. How often does Shopify remit the sales income to the business on a sales by sales basis or bi-weekly?
So anytime someone makes a purchase, the amount that Shopify takes off for the credit card fee is taken right off the sale automatically. So it's every sale that you make.
Okay, perfect. Well, Allison, thank you very much. As you said earlier, if anybody has any further questions or needs assistance with their website, you can reach out to the Small Business Center directly. It's info@windsoressexsmallbusiness.com. We should be able to find the answers for you or direct you to the right avenue to find those answers anyways. So do feel free to reach out to us at any time. We will send out a recording of this. So if you missed anything or if you wanted to go over it again, you'll be able to do so. And Allison, thank you again. This has been very valuable. I think everyone was able to learn a lot about Shopify, and it'll really ease the process of them getting into using this platform.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for coming, and let me know if you have any other questions.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.